You can play huge bombastic style rock fills like you hear on your favorite rock records by simply adding the kick drum to hand patterns. I'm going to teach you a really fun exercise, actually several fun exercises you can use to practice this and get really good at this. You can do this. Hey, welcome to the Non-Glamorous Drummer. I believe that no matter who you are, you can master the drums when you have the right know-how. And I believe this video is going to help you do just that. So if you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe and also download my free practicing e-guide all about how to know what to practice. If you've ever not known what to practice and felt lost in your practicing, grab this free guide. It's gonna help direct you and help you be more productive and get more done in less time. It's called the 3-part daily practice routine, totally free. Check it out. Now, I have to start by saying a lot of times there's nothing wrong with a simple, boring fill. Sometimes a simple, boring fill is best because you don't want to distract from what else is going on in the song. But there are definitely a lot of times if you're playing rock songs, if you're playing with like a rock cover band or an original band that does rock stuff, there are a lot of moments when the drums do need to shine and the drum fills can really drive the song. And so sometimes you want the capability to not just play, a loud fill, but play a fill that's really interesting and just like smacks people in the face. Think of, like fills from songs by The Killers or Kings of Leon or Foo Fighters. Those are kind of the fill ideas we're going for here, where it's just all this fast, crazy stuff around the kit that is still really cool and unique. That's what I'm going to teach you how to do today. First, I want you to think through what are some simple ways that you can make a very simple, basic singles fill interesting. So maybe if your fill is just singles on the snare or even singles around the kit, what are some basic things at a very basic level you can add to it, to change up about it, to make the fill more interesting? I think the first thing would be accents. As soon as you start throwing in some accents, then suddenly we have a rhythm in the midst of the fill that isn't just ga 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 goom 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 goom. Suddenly it gets a little bit more interesting there. Or we could change the way we orchestrate it, which is kind of the same as if we're throwing in accents, because it draws your ear to maybe a melody on the toms, which can be really cool and often very appropriate depending on the song. But the third way, and what we're digging into today, is what if you replace some of those hand notes with the kick drum? So it starts to take on a linear kind of style, where maybe we take out the E of the beat, put that on kick, or take out the and or the put that on kick. That really starts to shake things up. And of course, if you combine that with accents and orchestration, combine all three of those things, we get some pretty funky and potentially very big, bombastic rock and roll fills. So I'm just going to teach you a simple exercise that will make you place the kick either on each beat, on each E or and or in the midst of those hand notes. And so practice this, get really solid at it. That's going to really open up your linear capabilities for making these fills really wild and crazy. And so that's literally it. You're just playing 16ths with your hands and you're cycling through replacing the beats, then replacing the E's, the ands, and the uhs with the kicks. Certain ones of those can be really challenging. I think actually replacing the beats and the ands can be weird. Replacing the is my favorite though, and that's one that you can use to get a little crazy with this, because there's something that feels really cool about using the kick to lead into each beat. So going boom, ba, ba, bum, boom, bum, ba, ba. There's some really cool ways that you can literally just use that to make really interesting fills. But once you've worked through that and you've taken it slow, you've gotten it solid, and you're able to start playing around with that and improvising a little off of that framework, you're ready for the next level, because there's a lot more we can do with this to just give you a lot of directions you can go with this style of fill creation. So the first is Bonham-style triplets. Whether or not you play these as triplets, you could just play them as groupings of 3 in the midst of 16. So they're not truly triplets, they're just groupings of 3. But basically you can just go kick left, right, or kick right, left, in the midst of what you're already doing. So you might be playing. And so on, you know, doing something like that. So it gives you somewhere else to go and some very much syncopation that you can launch into. You can also, though, a little bit more challenging for the right foot, do doubles between foot and hands. So kick, kick, right, left, kick, kick, right, left, however you want to do that. That gives you more back and forth possibilities here. And of course, you could also do paradiddles. And something else you could do is do groupings of 6 with your hands, where that 6th note is on the kick. And so instead of just doing groupings of 4, instead of just going, you could also do, still within that 4/4 context, so you could end it that way. And so that can be a great way to do one of these fills too. So let me show you just some examples of what you can do with this, some very bombastic kinds of fills that are super rock and roll. Bunch of randomness, so much random stuff you can do with that it's a lot of fun, and it's really well worth practicing those so that you can get there. So practice every one of those exercises I showed you. Download the lesson notation PDF. If you like seeing things written out and you want to have, you know, the visual part of this that you can download, print, take to your practice space, go grab that, because that's going to help you a lot with just guiding your practicing and knowing exactly what to work on so that you can play these types of fills. But if your practicing dream, your drumming goal is to play like some of your favorite just rock drumming heroes and play like Killers and Foo Fighters, that kind of stuff, this is where that starts. You've got to work on the nitty-gritty. You've got to practice these patterns over and over again and get more and more comfortable with them so that you can start improvising on them and start just creating these fills of your own. Then you're going to find that you are starting to sound like these drummers. You are starting to sound super rock and roll, and you've got all sorts of big bombastic stuff to reach for. And so practice doing it, have fun along the way. Be sure to start slow, practice it with your metronome, but it's well worth doing, and you're gonna reap the rewards. You're gonna reach those goals, reach those drumming dreams when you work at it. So do it, you can do it. In the meantime, if you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe if this video helped you out. Thanks for watching, stay non-glamorous. I will see you on the next video.